All right, it is hashtag Friday Pie Day. Hopefully everybody's having a good week. We had a really good week inside of NORDIC Alpha. We had a good week actually inside of Smart Money Commodities at Verified Investing as well. So hopefully you made some pizza money this week in some market, somewhere, somehow, some way, whether it be metals, gold, silver, platinum, whatever, right? Or commodities like, natural gas and stuff like that. Whether it's crypto, whether it's, the equities markets, the S&P, stuff like that. Hopefully you made money enough to afford your pizza for your Friday Pie Day, right? We did that in every single market inside of NORDIC Alpha. Another almost flawless week. We had one loss, but actually we pretty much told everybody before we opened the trade that it was probably going to be a loss, and then we were just going to get a secondary entry, and then boom, we were going to rip it down. That's exactly what happened, and we're wildly profitable on it. And it was on Bitcoin. But I want to talk about a couple of Wolfer things first, and then we can get into the TA. So if anybody's here for the Wolfer stuff, we're going to talk about that first. If anybody's here for the TA, just stick around for the next 5-10 minutes. Let me get through that. I'll talk about the market dynamics and stuff like that that's going on. Then we'll get into the TA on the markets. I'll show you a bunch of the trades that we took inside of NORDIC Alpha this week. And, we'll just rip it from there, man. So with that being said, I want to pull something up. Okay. Where is my, what's it called? Right here. Dude, so Trump and his family literally lost about $1 billion. Dude, that's nuts. They were worth about $7.7 billion. Now they're worth a measly $6.7 billion. I mean, they're broke. You know what I'm saying? They're brokies, right? Dude, imagine like just waking up one day and $1 billion you've lost, but it's like you're still worth almost $7 billion. Like, I don't know, man. That's just insane. Insane for me to think. Like, that's just crazy. Now, how did that happen? Well, there's a couple of different ways. So one, Eric Trump's his Bitcoin mining company, their shares dropped like 30% or something wild back. It's about a week ago or something like that. And the reason why it dropped apparently is because, shares got unlocked from people that invested early in the company. And so those people dumped it, took their profits, blah, blah, blah. Then secondarily from that, you're also seeing that the Trump Media Technology Group, which owns Truth Social and, all Donald Trump's stuff, right? It went to $11 a share, right? It traded at $42 earlier this year. So it's down like 75%. Then if you go and you check out what happened with Trump coin is down 90% from its highs, and Melania coin is down 99% from its highs. Now, did the Trumps get out of Trump and Melania before that crash happened? Yeah, probably. Then same thing is happening with World Liberty Financial. World Liberty Financial fell over 30% from its high as well after opening, right? Now, we do have another thing that's kind of crazy. The CFTC, which is the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, they basically said that there's going to be federally regulated markets on futures exchanges for spot crypto assets. That's pretty dope, to be honest with you. So we'll see what happens there. But in any case, this is what's happening in the market right now, right? That's not it. This is the top 100s, right? Everything absolutely getting wrecked. I mean, ETH is down to 3K, which is a pretty key level. Avalanche down to 1336. You really don't want to see Avalanche below $10, to be honest with you. Even Cardano getting murdered here, 41 cents, right? XRP, I'm sure, is somewhere on here getting wrecked, but here's WLFI, right? So let's look at from the year's perspective, right? Down from 29 cents to a peak low, a trough low of 11 cents. Now it has since recovered by about 50% to 15 cents, but it's down about 50%. So, this was supposed to be super, super duper revolutionary, right? And for whatever reason, it just didn't work out like that. Now, on the Wolfer front, I have two things that I want to, well, it's actually only one thing, sorry. I have one thing that I want to alert people on this. We were talking about this in the previous Wolfer briefing. It was a while back. I think it was 2 weeks ago, maybe. We are not running Flux master nodes anymore. We still have our Flux, obviously, but I shut down these nodes because they were costing us $640 a month. And if you go to the crypto bubbles and you look at what Flux is bringing in per month for us, 12 cents. I mean, this thing's bringing in like $200 on the rewards. It doesn't make sense. We're literally losing 2 times what we're making, right? So even if we were to take profits on the Flux, right, we would bring in about $250, and then we would be paying $640 out. So we went ahead and spun down all of the nodes, but fear not, all you have to do is just go right here to the wallets, come right down here, go to the Flux Explorer, Flux Block Explorer, tag that bad boy right up in here, paste it, press enter, and as you can see, we still have all of our Flux, right? So that's where you can track that just in case anybody happens to give a F. Obviously, there's just no point. Once, and this is what I told the people too, the people that were running our nodes. I was just like, hey, look, you know, this is goodbye, or this is probably see you later. It's probably not goodbye, right? We're going to keep our Flux and let it do what it does, but we're not going to continue to bleed $400 a month just so that we can say we're master noding Flux. We will spin those nodes back up. The people that we were getting our servers from, we will spin those nodes back up when they become inherently less expensive, right? Maybe through the NVIDIA partnership that Flux has, or 2, when it actually becomes more of a break-even to profitable venture, right? There's no point. Avalanche nodes still staked, ETH nodes still staked. There's reasons for that because we literally stake those for almost nothing. It probably costs us $5 a month for all of those nodes. That makes sense. But Flux, not in my opinion, not so much, okay? So that's essentially like the update on Wolfer right now. We did have to update our Avalanche. I guess that's my like 1.5 update. We did have to update the Avalanche node to this new version that they had, which was extremely, extremely time consuming and very annoying, but it is updated and now climbing back up in its like average attestation percentage, and it's now above the percentage that it needs to be in order for us to successfully validate and get rewards. So no worries there either. Now, if you want to stay for the TA, I invite you to stay for the TA because this is where it gets super duper bullish, man. This is where it gets super wild, where we've given out, what, a dozen trades inside of NORDIC this week, and they all killed it. Let's just be honest, except for one, like I said, and I'll show you the trade because I am, if not, but transparent, right? So I will show you the winners. I will show you the losers. I will show you the good and the bad and the ugly, right? So let's get off of here. Let's get off of here and let's get off of here. So, okay. Now I post all these trades inside of the private VIP trading room. Spoiler alert. We killed it on crypto. We killed it. Oh my God, did we kill it in the S&P, okay? We killed it in silver and gold. And I'm going to show it all to you right now. If you happen to give a F, and if you want to get into the Nordic Alpha Private VIP Trading Room, it's $29 a month, dude. It's literally, like, it will cost you less than 4 days worth of coffee. Where we give you literally trade alerts and analysis on every single market every single day. Forex, commodities, metals, crypto, S&P, equities, whatever. I mean, we're not trading pet rocks or anything, but if you've got a chart on it, we'll take a look. So let's go ahead and show you what is going on in there, right? I'm going to just pull up the TradingView chart as well, okay? So First and foremost, inside of gold, we gave out these two trades. Okay, look how massively and wildly profitable this is. Look at how good of a position this is. And we have been in this position for quite a while. But as it sits, this is a swing trade, right? Even if you were to take profits right here, you're still up 4%. Okay, you did a 10x leverage on that, you're up 40%. Whatever, right? Whatever. Good stuff. Secondarily, we gave out this trade, which is the back test of this parallel. Okay, great. We came up here. We're still up almost 2% on that trade. If you had taken profits at the peak or even at this peak today, you know, you did pretty well. Actually, we took profits on silver and gold inside of smart money commodities today at Verified Investing as well. But let me show you the silver trade that absolutely crushed it for us, okay? Well, there was this one from, you know, about a week ago. Like Bobby Schmurda said, about a week ago, right? So that's what we did last week, but let's talk about what we did this week. So we gave out a bunch of trades. And I was like, look, we come down here, we test this. Look at the risk to reward on this. Let me zoom in. If you're reading, if you can read, right? Yes, you're reading that correct. That is a 22x risk to reward. So for every dollar that you risked, you made $22. Okay? There's no reason for you to not be paying for your subscription and your pizza on a Friday Pie Day, plus your cigars, your coffee, and then some if you're inside of Nordic Alpha. And I encourage you to get in there because this is what we do literally every single week, right? And honestly, this was more of a 50x risk to reward trade because we got in, we pinpointed the entry right there, and you see how small that wick was, right? So with that being said, that reached full take profit today. So we said, okay, that's good enough for us. We will see if we get a pullback. We did. We bounced from the VWAP. Now, let's see if we get up here to the $60 level, the 2.618 fib, because we obviously have a typical resistance up there that we could definitely be shorting from potentially, right? There's no guarantees. We got to get confirmations up here, right? Now, let's talk about Bitcoin. Zoom out. When in doubt, zoom out. So let's show you the longs well, let's just show you what we've been doing for the past couple of weeks on Bitcoin. Bang! Nice little 35x risk to reward trade there. Gave that out live inside of the VIP. Bang! Bought the bottom, 3.5x risk to reward. Took profits there. No problem. Gave that out ahead of time as well. Bang! Shorted the top on that. Took a nice little 2x risk to reward on that. No big deal. Gave it out ahead of time. Bang! Shorted the top way up here and took profits at the naked VWAP, and then it just blasted straight through the naked VWAP. Gave that one out ahead of time. Bang! That's not it. That's the one we actually lost on. That's the one we lost on this week. So we essentially entered right up here, and I was telling everybody inside of the video, look, this one has a high likelihood of getting stopped out because we're probably going to rip up and SFP either these highs right here, this high and this high, or this high right here. And so I said, look, don't go heavy on this. There's no point. And then bang, what did we do? We said, that's fine. We ripped this up. And then we tried to short up there at the, I forget what it was. What was it? The fair value gap fill and a new lower high, but we obviously did not get the new lower high. So obviously we got stopped out on that after a massive gain on this one. And then what did we do? Where's it at? Shorted it, baby. Shorted it. I need to put hit on this so that I can pick it out faster. Hit. So what did we do? We shorted the SFP of these highs right here. Bang. And now we are ripping it down. Obviously, we are bringing it to anywhere down, right? So let me show you. Where's my naked VWAPs? I don't know. Anyways, in any case, we're trying to bring it down here to the 74K range, potentially, right? We've got our first support right here at about 87.5, right? We almost hit that already. We've got our second support here, right about $85,300. And then we've got our third support at $81,000. That's our last ditch effort before we go to 74, right? So if you lose that level, you're just taking it right down to 74. So I do, Dex, I do add the naked POCs and naked VWAP levels to the chart. I wish it was a key level suite add-on. Man, that would be so sick. Maybe we should come out with like a Nordic Alpha indicator that automatically adds those. I don't know how we would do it, and then takes them off whenever they get hit, right? Because that would be sick, right? If like just randomly you had an indicator called Nordic Alpha that, you know, say you're right here, right? And it's like, oh, here you go. Let me get this magnet tool off. And it's like, oh, bang, naked daily VWAP, right? And then it's like, oh, we come up here and then we hit it and then it just automatically deletes it for you. That would be so sick, right? That would be so sick. I've not found an indicator that does that, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, all you got to do is you just got to have PVP on. This is for weekly points of control. Okay, so let me pull that up. So here's your weekly point of control, right? All the way up here at 92.9. But if you look at SVP, it's giving you your naked daily point of controls, which is right here at $87,000, which is, you know, right where we were talking about it could be going, right? So, and then you've got secondarily, you've got a bunch down here, but you have to zoom out and go way over to the left in order to find those. You know, is what it is. But in any case, this is where I'm seeing us going. $87,000 first, potentially. There's no guarantee we get down there. So obviously manage your trade as you see fit. But I mean, say that we do get where we think we're potentially going. That's a 10x risk to reward trade. Even if you take your profits here, it's a 4x risk to reward. Gave out it ahead of time. And if you don't believe me, that is perfectly fine. You don't have to believe me. I am perfectly fine proving it to people. But yeah. Failed and potentially all the way down. Boom. That was us giving out that trade, and I can even show you the time before that we gave it out, right? All right. I mean, this is a shortable range, especially if the SFP short. This is hit. This is the one that got stopped out. And this is the one where I said this is probably the one that we're actually going to get. Boom, right? Okay, cool. Thanks, Drew. Appreciate it, right? Now, let's talk about what happened in the S&P, too, because we murdered it in the S&P. Then we'll get back to Bitcoin. We'll go to the usual suspects. We'll look at all the charts, right? And if you have a chart you want me to look at, drop it in the comments section below. I'll be glad to look at least a few for people if you'd like me to. Now, for the S&P, okay, dudes and dudettes, homies and homettes, men and women, boys and girls, and non-binary people alike, check this stuff out. This is some wild shiz right here, man. This is some super, super wild shiz. So check this. All right. So I gave out a couple of longs, right? So I gave out this long first, and I said, look, we come down to this naked point of control. We tag it. We're just longing here, and we're looking to bring it up to this naked weekly point of control up here. It took us a while to grind our way up there, right? We grinded our way up there, and we finally got full take profit on this. I believe it was yesterday, but technically it would have been today. It depends on if you had a limit order set or not, because if you had a limit order set, then you would have hit it right here, I think it was Wednesday. But if you were watching it, you could have also hit it on Wednesday or Thursday or even today, right? So that was one trade that we gave out last week. I mean, look at the risk to reward on this thing. 9x risk to reward on that bad boy. And I said, look, hey guys, and I said, I gave mercy on people. I said, look, let's say you didn't get in down here because you weren't paying attention or whatever. I'll give you another entry. Here it is. Take this trade. Once we back test this previous resistance that we now have flipped to support, now that we've confirmed above it, you back test it and you're blasting off. It's the same take profit target. Look at the risk to reward on that one. 12x, man. 12x risk to reward on the S&P on that. We took full take profit on that yet again, right? So then what happened? Well, we're just telling people, look, we could come up here and we could hit this poor high. We could hit this poor high, this poor high, this poor high, and this 0.786 fib, and we could be shorting, right? So what exactly happened? Well, we got a nice, massive, you guessed it, SFP, swing failure pattern of the prior highs, not only on the hourly chart, but also Yes, yes, sirree. On the 4-hour chart, bang, right? Nice big SFP. And what did we do? You guessed it. All we did was we shorted these poor highs. And where's my other short? Come on, give it to me. And we shorted these poor highs, right? That's it. Look at the risk to reward on this thing. You bring it down to just here, that's a 19x risk to reward. You bring it down to where I think we're probably going, which is more like down here to this naked daily point of control, right? 67x risk to reward on this trade. This trade hit today. We gave this out on the 30th of November. Okay. We gave this out on the 30th of November, 5, 6, 7 days in advance. This was right after Thanksgiving, right? The key level suite has options for day, week, to use it. Yeah, I'll show you what I use, man. Yeah, so I have all of that stuff. So I can show you what I use actually. So my inputs are high time frame levels, VWAP levels, point of control and value area levels. And then I have the high time frame levels, which are the open, the high and the low on the weekly, the daily, the monthly, and the quarterly, right? Then for my VWAP levels, I have the daily, I have the weekly, and I have the monthly. And then for moving averages, I don't actually have those on there. This would be a line. But then I also have volume profiles, the POC for the daily, the weekly, and the monthly. And that's really it. And you can see it all over here, like daily open, daily low, weekly open, weekly low, monthly low, weekly VWAP, monthly VWAP. And it just says it right over here on that side. And that's how I have it. My style is I just put pane labels, because if you put the lines, it kind of mucks your charts up a little bit, right? It kind of mucks your charts up. So that's how I do it, okay? Now, secondarily, let's get back to the S&P. So we're taking this short. Let's see how far down we can ride it. Obviously, you know, there's no guarantees on how far this thing goes, right? Obviously, you just got to take it level by level. We could still rip up here to the 786 and, you know, start shorting again. But, you know, we'll see what happens. But if this starts to roll over, which I've been of the volition for a very long time that the S&P is in a bubble and that it will go down, and it did, and we took this massive short. Dude, we shorted from here to here. It was wild. Oh, of course, man. This is a swing trade. Yep, this is a swing trade, baby. Swing trade, baby. So, yeah, I mean, we're just going to try and ride it down here. First level is 6,800 or 6,789. I mean, technically your first level is actually 6,820, then 6,789. Then your next level, really, there's nothing to hold you up from there. It's right here at this naked daily VWAP, which is at 6,700 bucks. And then your next level is right here. Again, nothing much to hold you up. 6,620 down to about 6,600. And then further than that, man, you're coming all the way down here to about 6,500, right? So yeah, we'll see what happens. But again, if this starts ripping down, this is absolutely going to rip down Bitcoin with it, okay? And that's why I'm saying, like, you have to pay attention to what's going on with Bitcoin. Let me get this out of here. Let's update our VWAP. I hate it when it does that, man. I hate it when it does that. It makes it all thick. It always resets it. There you go. So in any case, I'm waiting to see what happens here at $87,000 exactly, right? And then I'm waiting to see what happens at 85.2, okay? Because this is our parallel with our first deviation zone being in between $81,000 to about $85,000, right? So you get back inside of the zone, then you lose that $81,000 range. You're coming to 74, dude. Like, I know people don't like to hear it, but, you know, it just is what it is. So nobody has actually requested anything in the comments section. So we're just going to assume that people say, hey, Drew, you're in the kitchen. We're just going to let you cook. So we're going to go to ETH and we're going to check out what's going on with ETH. Okay. So again, we talk about this all the time. 0.618 retraces, man. 0.618 friggin' retraces. Perfect bounce. 2750 brings it right back up to the 0.5. And then boom, it gets a nice rejection. I mean, this was a great trade. This was a great trade for you if you took it, right? And I know I haven't done ETH analysis in a little bit, but you know, it is what it is. Let's say you took the worst part of it, right? You still had a 3x risk to reward. Let's say you took it this time though. 7x risk to reward. Damn, Daniel. Back at it again with the gains, man. Spicy. Spicy, man.
Damn, Daniel. Back at it again with the white bands. Spicy, man. Damn. Daniel.
So I really just need to see it get above this 0.5 again. $3,200 is going to be your massive resistance, about $3,175. We really needed to see it get up there, start legging its way up. But, I mean, as you can see, this is a nice rounded top, man. This is a nice rounded top that could just turn into a fat cup and handle with a massive, massive potential move down, right? And I'm not saying that's going to happen, but, you know, it could, it could. And that could rip you down to like, dude, $1,500, you know what I'm saying? Which is like the range lows of this massive run up, right? That would be retracing the entire run up. Are you going to do that? Most likely not. Hopefully this would be your potential bottom, especially if Bitcoin starts to get some legs under it. That is where you could start to see ETH starting to pump up. Now, the other thing I want to look at is Cardano. Cardano, for all my Cardano maxis out there. Man, we were talking about this. Man, we were talking about this. Look, you almost got a full TP on this bad boy, man. You almost got full TP on this bad boy. Oh, man. That is an excelente, muy excelente trade. That is a 12x risk to reward. Insane. If you were trying to write it all the way down to 32 cents and you didn't get it, I'm sorry. But again, that's why we set up these levels. We say, hey, here's your first level to watch for. Here's your second level to watch for. You bounced from it. You bounced from it. You're getting it again right now. You could get your full take profit if Bitcoin does go to $74,000. Cardano is going to 32 cents most likely, right? That's going to be about a 10% shed. That's about 12.5% shed on Cardano. Oh my God, never mind. It's a 23% shed. I didn't realize that we were at 41 cents here. I thought we were at 35. That is insane. That is insane. Wow. Woo. I mean, yeah. Feel free to continue riding this. You know, feel free to continue riding this. I just moved my stop loss right here above 46.5 cents. That's all I would do if if I'm in this trade. That's what I'm doing. Is what I'm saying. Now, once you get down here, if Bitcoin's starting to find its bottom, this is where you can start thinking about flipping long, right? Oh my gosh, I just deleted that. That's not it. This is where you can start thinking about flipping into longs, potentially, right? Again, no guarantees. But if you lose this level, you got to keep shorting, right? You're probably shorting down here to about 23 cents, something like that. Let's just delete that. Yeah, call it about 24 cents. I mean, that's almost the full measured move of this descending triangle that did break down, right? We called out this descending triangle long time ago. And, that's that, man. That's that. So, yeah, I would say this is your long opportunity right here. But you got to set your stop loss pretty friggin' loose on this because you got this massive wick low over here. So we'll see what happens there. Let's go to Solana and see what's happening with Solana. Yeah, same stuff, man. Same stuff. So we came down here. We said, look, you come down here, you tap into the bottom end of this parallel. All you do is you set your stop loss outside of it. You don't get a confirmation outside of it, right? You're good. Whether you got it here or whether you got it here is irrelevant. You got your trade, right? You got your trade, and you didn't get to bring it all the way back up to the top end of the parallel yet, but you are mildly profitable, not wildly profitable, but you are mildly profitable. So all I would be looking to do is protect this trade. With the potential downside that Bitcoin has, I would be looking to protect that trade, stop out at a break even, and then reposition at the bottom end of the trend channel, right? And these lows, yep, you got it. So that's Solana in a nutshell right now. Really, you got to get back above this 0.236 by the mid-December, right? For Solana to look bullish, in my opinion, you got to get up above this 0.236, which is at about $143. You get up above that by mid-December on a daily closing candle basis, right? Because remember, you got to wait for your candle closes. Don't get wicked out, man. So you got to wait for your candle close, your confirmation. This is looking a little bit more bullish, but until you get up there, I'm not calling anything bullish on Solana. Now let's look at XRP. This is the other usual suspect. Again, you break down from the $2 level, which we've been talking about this level for, I can't even tell you how long, so long. It's literally giving $1.30 vibes, right? Now, you're probably like, well, Drew, we broke down from it and we didn't go to $1.30. Well, okay, here's my rules. And if you've been watching me for long enough, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you get your breakdown candle right here, this is your breakdown candle. You need your confirmation candle to close below the low of that breakdown candle, okay? Now, this low was incredibly far down. You got sucked right back up into it. Now what we're waiting for is we need to see a candle close under here, then another subsequent candle close under the low of that candle, back test this, bearishly, you're shorting, right? That's what we're looking at for XRP. As you can see, this point of control, they do not want to let it get back above that now that they've let it get under it, right? You can see they did not want to let it get under it at first, right? Way over here. They were like, nah, every time we get under it, we're just going to rip it back up, rip it back up, rip it, boom, right? Get over to it, bounce, bounce, bounce. Now we're under it, and guess what? It's trying to keep you under it. So this is going to be massive resistance at about $2.20. You got to watch out for that, okay? Secondarily, you are in a major and massive descending triangle, okay? The descending triangle is from these highs down to these highs. And as you can see, you don't have a lot of room to run on that. So you break down from here. That measured move is about $1.30 on this descending triangle, right? Now you get outside of this right here and you back test that POC, you could be pumping all the way up to right about here, $2.85. Okay, so does anybody have anything else that they want me to look at? Copper. Funny enough, I have copper. So this is what's going on copper, man. There's a gap fill all the way up here. This is where I would be looking for shorts, okay? This is where I would be looking for shorts on copper, okay? Because you are filling this massive, redonkulous gap, right? All the way down to there. And you are in this upward sloping parallel. And those things are about to converge at one of the ultimate resistances that you have, okay? Resistance at gap fill the gap, continue down, right? So now there's two scenarios there, obviously, right? There's you get above it, you back test it, you blast off, you target these highs, and then even further. The more likely scenario is probably this. And then you target the bottom end of the trend channel. That's what I'm seeing on copper right now. I mean, do whatever you want to do. Like if you want to trade copper, that's perfectly fine. Totally get it. I trade gold and silver for the most part. I trade, yeah, I don't really trade all these off-brand. Inside of the futures market, I'll just be honest with you. Copper has very low volume in terms of contracts. And it also is incredibly volatile, as you can see, right? Incredibly volatile. I mean, look at this massive run up, right? Big fade, massive run up, big fade, massive run up, big fade. One candle, run up, and then, dude, like literally gap down in a day. Like copper is super, super duper volatile. So just be cognizant of that. In terms of silver right now, we are shorting from the top. Okay, this is inside of Smart Money Commodities. I already gave that trade alert out this morning. We actually took, you want to see a legendary trade, guys? You want to see a friggin' legendary trade? This is what we did inside of Smart Money Commodities. This was nuts. This is in verified investing. It's a swing trading service. We were in this trade for like 2 weeks. Let me find it. Dude, seriously, why does it do this to me, man? Why does it do this to me? This is the trade that we closed out this morning. How much of a percent do you think that is? Just looking at it. I'll give you a spoiler. 20.5%. And then we flipped short, right? We flipped short. We also, whoops. It is what it is. I can't really talk about that too terribly much, but yeah. So now we are, and we also closed out our gold long. I can show you that because this is all done. This is all done deal, right? So this was the gold long that we had. Where did we close it out at? 42.73. What was the profit on this one? 5.54%. Obviously, this was not our stop loss, right? Let's just unlock this. Why does it keep doing this stuff to me? Unlock. Okay. Oh my gosh, the magnet tool. Please stop. So on this one, 4x risk to reward, 5.5% move up. Pretty darn good. We did not flip short here. I'm not going to lie. Why did we not flip short? I don't think there's enough juice. 5.5% move up. I don't think there's enough juice here for me to want to flip short, because what I see happening is us coming down probably somewhere even around here at most. That's like a 5% move down. I'm aiming for more like 10% moves in this. Like, and I'll take 5% if I can get it. But if my major like move is 5%, I'm probably just not going to take the trade. Like, just is what it is. So, I mean, this is what we're doing inside of Smart Money Commodities, though. It's totally different service. It has nothing to do with Nordic Alpha. Nordic Alpha is where you're getting like a redonkulous amount of trades, man. A redonkulous amount of trades. Yeah, of course it does, bro. I can't give out the same trades in each service. That would be like wrong. That would be like very wrong. So like you get different trades on the golden nugget than you're going to get inside of Nordic Alpha, right? You're going to get different trades inside of Smart Money Commodities than you're going to get inside of Nordic Alpha. So Dex, you're in Nordic Alpha, so you kind of know this. Nordic Alpha, we're ripping it. Like, we're ripping it. We're not in a trade. Like, look at how long we were in this trade for, right? We were in this trade from the November 14th up to today. Like, that's a 2.5 week long trade on gold. And this one was the same, like a 2.5 long week trade on silver, right? But like, look at the trade that we just closed out today. How long were we in that trade, right? From Thursday until this morning, right? Bang. That's the difference. So Smart Money Commodities is like a long, super long-term swing trading service for like investors, people that are like investing their portfolios and not as much like traders like what we do inside of Nordic Alpha. Now, is it still advantageous to be in Smart Money Commodities if you're taking good trades? Yeah, it is. But, you know, we're giving out 10 times the amount of trades inside of Nordic Alpha, and they're inherently different trades, right? These are like day trades, right? As opposed to swings. And then, you know, John's giving out scalps, man. But, you know, I digress. I've gone off on a crazy tangent. Everybody, you all have the levels. You know where we're going. You know where we could be potentially going at the very least. So, man, I appreciate everybody for showing up. Hopefully you have a good and prosperous #Friday Pie Day. If you were inside of Nordic Alpha, you had a very prosperous week. We've never had a down week. And how long have we been open? Like almost this entire year. I don't know. It's pretty darn good. I have a 91% win rate in 2025 for a reason. Do whatever you want to do. If you want to get in there, you want to make some pizza money or try to make some pizza money, obviously not financial advice. Want to make some cigar money? Come rip it. Come rip it with us. We appreciate having everybody here. Obviously, if you like this video, hit the like button, hit subscribe, boom, baby, bang on the notification bell. Anybody that's here on Twitter, scroll up, hit the follow button. I appreciate you all. Everybody have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon.